Atlanta, baby, ain't nobody above it. When Atlanta smiles, I love it.
All right, so this week I wanted to talk about in our tea leaf discussion the decision that has been highly debated throughout the country, which is whether or not to wear a face mask. As you all have seen throughout this episode, I've had on a face mask the entire time. So Quameiha and I have different stances on where we are with face masks. So we wanted to dive into that this week, but more so on the fact that this has been a topic that unfortunately has gotten very political. And we wanted to really pull back the politics because if you watch the presidential debate, right there at the end, when they walk off the stage, you literally see the politics. Biden walks off, all of his family, all of his secretaries, everyone around him walks off with a face mask. Trump, every single one on his side walked off without a face mask.
I don't like being associated with Trump because I'm not wearing a face mask. Let's get that clear right now.
But it truly has become a political statement.
Yeah.
If you wear a face mask, you've been brainwashed, all of that. And so it's just a lot. And so we wanted to step back from the politics and talk about why we, because you aren't associated with Trump and that mindset, so why we, regardless of politics, choose where we are in that debate on whether or not you should wear a face mask. So we wanted to have a conversation because we are on opposing sides, not negatively opposing, but we're just on opposite sides in this regard. So I had a few questions that I wanted to ask Quameiha, and then in turn, Quameiha is going to ask me a couple of questions, okay? All right, so to begin, I just want you to give me your perspective. Where were you when we first found out? I want to say it was probably like late January, early February when we started hearing all the buzz about it. Where were you in that moment? And what was your first immediate reaction to what this pandemic, what COVID-19 was? And then how did you choose to respond?
So I think I severely underestimated Corona.
Okay.
I was one of those people that was like, she gonna be gone by the summer. She not gonna survive. She has stuck around.
Mm-hmm. It's October.
Yeah. She's still here.
She's thriving.
So I'm not going to lie. I underestimated it. But even when it came around, I did have some fear in my heart. Like, I'm not going to walk around and say that I've just been this, like, super fearless, like, injecting myself into any situation. No, I think when everything first went down, what I did differently that I think than some people was prepare. Like some people really freaked out and got a bunch of toilet paper. And it was interesting going to grocery stores.
God, I'm so glad we're past that part.
I'm so glad we're past that part.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. I remember being in the grocery store and looking at people's carts. People out here getting cartons and cartons of Mountain Dew and bacon and all this bullshit. I'm going to say bullshit, you know what I mean? And so I went and I got golden seal and elderberry and a lot of it and turmeric, ginger. I got a lot of that stuff. Yeah, so I think one thing I did differently was even though I had some fear in my heart, I acted in a way that would prepare myself and my family. So I stocked up on like golden seal, elderberry, oregano, all these things that are really good for your body. And that just made me feel more confident, you know? It's like, I trust my body. That's one thing is that I think sometimes we forget that our bodies are self-healing, you know? And especially when you give it the things that it needs to do that, such as sun, water, vitamins, all those things, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. Now, there are different levels of immunity, you know what I mean? Like, some people can get wiped out by a simple cough because you're not coming strong like that. So that's where I was when things first happened. I know I did quarantine for some time, but I chose to be with my family during that time. So I left the city of Atlanta because I was concerned about being so in the city, especially with the idea of there being, like, military presence and all that stuff. So I went to the outskirts. I went to Stone Mountain, and I felt safer there. So where were you when things sort of first kicked off?
Well, y'all know. So, and I think that's truly what shaped my reality of this is where I was. I'm a teacher. So where was I when everyone starts saying, hey, there's this viral disease going around. You can't see it. It's airborne. You can get it easily. I'm in a room full of 9 and 10-year-olds that bite pencils and trade and all that. And I'm like,
oh, snot running down their nostrils.
And mind you, let's add to this. We found out all of this maybe February. March is when we shut down, March 16th. But February is when all the rumors started. Yes, because And I promise you, every teacher does. Because it was the day that we did not go back and ever see our children again. Because it was so random and abrupt. And it's like, we prepare for the end of the school year. You mentally prepare to say goodbye to your kids. And so we were getting ready, like we were going to have the end of the year party, all of that. But it was just March 16th. Hey, guys, by the way, you have to let your kids know you're never going to see them again. So having to adjust to that. But figuring all of this out. And then right in January, I had the flu. Or at least I think I had the flu, because I've had several teachers ask me, because I was out for an entire week, asking me if I think that my symptoms actually were COVID-19 now that we know about everything. To my knowledge, I had the flu. However, when I went to the hospital trying to get all my stuff, they said, yeah, what are your symptoms? Great, cool. Didn't test me, didn't do anything. They said, we're just going to treat you like you have the flu. Here, go take this. Have a good one. Let me go. So to this day, I do not know. However, just knowing, wow, I know at that time I was Lysoling on my desk. I know that I'm a very sanitary person, and I know children and their germs. So as a teacher, I was already taking care of my classroom to the best ability that I could. And I got the flu. So now you're telling me that there's something worse than the flu out here that's killing people. And then I think a big thing for me has been all the misinformation, because you start off saying, yeah, 20-somethings are safe, guys. It's those real elderly people. And so the 20-somethings are like, okay, well, let's keep going out. Let's go to spring break, because y'all remember spring break when everyone was down at Panama City Beach, and then we started hearing about the rise in cases. So I think for me, I'm always coming from the perspective that my health is so dependent on other people around me that the only thing I can control is putting on a stupid face mask. Whether it helps or not, whether it's a placebo, this is truly the only thing that I can control, because if the school system says I have to go back to the school, which they're talking about, I have a bill to pay. I have a home to pay for. I have rent. I guess I got to go back into that school. And so this is the only thing that makes me feel sane, walking around all of these kids that I don't know what you're doing. I can say, oh, please don't. Please put your mask over your nose. Oh, but he has a Spider-Man mask. Here, let's trade. That seems like a very real reality in my mind. And the fact that you asked me to go into that every day, yeah, I'm going to wear a face mask, because this is the only thing right now in this world that I have control over. And that's the thing that's making me feel better. So yours is like hyping up on vitamins. I get that. I do that as well. But this is my physical comfort. This is my shield that says it's okay for you to walk outside. Because when I tell you I've done quarantine, I've been doing quarantine for a long time. Yesterday, going out, doing the interviews with other people that you all will see in a little bit, because we wanted to get other people's perspectives. But going out, I needed that, because I've been in quarantine for so long. And so my mask is what makes me feel a little bit confident walking out. So I want to back it up and really find out from you, because you said to your family, you guys went away to Stone Mountain, you felt like getting out of the city was a safer, way for you to move. When did you feel comfortable coming back, going out, and just like getting your life back to normal? When did that happen? What was that change for you?
When I realized I couldn't be in my daddy's house no more, and I needed to go back to my house. I'm going to keep it real. When I realized I needed my home, I needed my space, and I needed to get back to my life, simply put. But no, and it's sort of came like one after the other, like I'm really blessed to sit with a medicine family. There's a medicine man named Yawa and a medicine woman named Alicia, who I'd love to have on the show one day. They would invite me to various ceremonies, and, I showed up to one. I think we had a Changa ceremony. There were about 2 or 3 people in a tent, and I walked in. I remember I was like, ooh, 4 people in a tent. Okay, I'm in here. But then I just kind of had to let it go, because I really believe in being present in the moment. And in order for me to be there in that moment for the ceremony that was happening and be there for this brother and his queen, I had to be present in it, And so you sort of lose fear when you go into these spaces, especially when you realize, like, you're just here human to human connecting with people. And we're so disconnected. And so it's like we aren't getting hugs. We aren't seeing each other. People aren't releasing in community. And I really believe that healing happens, most importantly, in community. And we have not been having that. And so I just had to make the choice to show up in that way. And it has it has amplified my life and my manifestations, my joy, all that stuff. So I'm glad I made the decision to show up in the world the way that I do. So I want to ask you, I know you said that